Hey guys, today I want to do a combined June and July favorites video, and I initially was going to break them up like I normally do, but then I realized that everything that I enjoyed in June I have still been enjoying in July, and I don't really have anything new to add, so we're going to combine the two. Also, this probably doesn't need to be said, but I am outside, so if you hear noises like cars and outdoorsy stuff and planes, just go with it. Think Ariel Bizet in the era of the parrot. So starting off with a music favorite, apologies for those of you who aren't into K-pop. I don't really know what it is, but I've kind of been listening exclusively to K-pop for the past like month or so, and I'm just really into it right now, and it feels very summer appropriate because it's all very catchy and upbeat. First up, I want to talk about Seungri, or Seungri. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that, but he is a member of Big Bang. He's probably most well known for that, but he does have a few solo songs, and recently I've been really into the song Gotta Talk to You. This probably is more of an R&B song than a strict pop song, but it has a really great beat. It's very catchy, and I really like his vocals. They're way more soulful and toned down than any of the other K-pop that I listen to. Though, warning, if you don't like repetitive music, you're not gonna like that song. It is very repetitive. Next up, I want to talk about Amber, and Amber I think is really cool. I did a little bit of research on her. She is actually originally from California. She is Taiwanese, not Korean, and she is really into the androgynous look, which I think she pulls off super freaking well. Just a couple days ago, I downloaded her mini album, which I can't remember the title of right now, but I will put a thing here, and the two songs off that album that I've really been enjoying are, oh, well, what the heck, the three songs are Shake That Brass, Heights, and I Wanna. So speaking of things on my iPhone, let's talk about some podcasts that I've really been enjoying. Number one, Radiolab. Now, I think Radiolab is an NPR podcast, so of course it is beautifully produced and put together. Radiolab is a podcast where people come to tell interesting stories about things that they've experienced in their lives. This can be told in the form of just a short story, or somebody sitting down and narrating the event to you. It can be told through live event panels, or it can be told through like an interview setting, and I think all of the above are very interesting and very well done. If you just want to get a quick taste and see if it's something that you'd be interested in, I would highly suggest that you check out the episode Living Room. Next up, I want to talk about another BBC podcast, and this is the BBC Radio 4 Books and Authors podcast. There are two different shows on this podcast. One of them is called Open Book, and that one's okay. This one has author interviews, thematic discussions, and literary reviews, but the show that I really like is called A Good Read. A Good Read is hosted by Harriet Gilbert, who is the same woman that hosts the BBC World Book Club. In each episode of A Good Read, Harriet has two guests who can be anyone from authors to public figures, and they're from all over the place, and they all just choose a book for everybody else to read, and then they read it beforehand, get together, and the podcast is just them discussing their opinions on what everybody else thinks is a good read. I find this one incredibly addicting, and it's really interesting because it's not just people praising these books. Like, they actually get into arguments and they talk over each other, and it's very spirited, so this is something I would highly suggest that you check out. Another thing that happens to be on my phone is an app that is just called Japanese, and this is put out by Mindsnacks. Now, this is exactly what it sounds like. It's an app designed to help you learn Japanese, and it does so through a series of very fun, very addicting games. And honestly, you're gonna learn so quickly because you're just so addicted to completing the levels and breaking your high scores that you don't really realize how much you're absorbing. I will say that I can't speak to whether or not this is an app that is good for complete beginners when it comes to Japanese, because I am coming in with previous experience, and I'm already able to read hiragana and katakana, the primary alphabet systems. For most of the games, there is a romaji function, and romaji is the romanized pronunciation of the Japanese words. But again, I can't really speak to whether or not this is something that would be great for complete beginners, but if you have even the most basic understanding of Japanese and you just are looking for something to help you practice vocabulary and pick up phrases really easily and enjoyably, I would highly suggest that you check this app out. Oh, I guess I should mention that I think you can get the free version with like 1 or 2 lessons, but it is $4.99 for the full, I believe it's 50 lessons or something like that. I went ahead and purchased it. I never buy apps, but I actually went ahead and purchased this, and I think it's totally worth it. Hashtag not sponsored. Finally, I have one more thing to talk about to make this a completely Asian heavy video, but whatever, I have an anime to recommend to you guys, and that is called Mushishi. I probably should have done some research on who does the story and art and who directs and all that. I didn't do that, but basically Mushishi is an anime about these mystical creatures called Mushi that are basically these insect-like, phantom-esque beings that exist outside of the plane of normal human perception. Very few people can perceive these Mushi, but everybody can be affected by them. The show is told episodically. There's no real overarching plot line, and it basically follows this guy named Ginkgo, who is a man who has been personally affected by Mushi and who attracts them everywhere he goes. Each episode follows Ginkgo on his travels as he travels around Japan researching Mushi and helping those who have been somehow affected by these mystical things that most of them can't see and therefore don't understand. I'm not actually sure if that was an intriguing enough description of the show for you guys, but suffice it to say that if you like Spirited Away or if you like Princess Mononoke in particular, I would highly suggest this anime. It is beautifully done. It is very quiet. The whole thing is very quiet. So if you're looking for an adventure-filled anime or something that's really fast-paced, this is not going to be for you. The art is done in a very soft watercolor. There is a very beautiful soundtrack, which I will link down below because some amazing soul put it up here on YouTube for everyone to enjoy. There is actually very minimal dialogue. There is the use of a lot of flashbacks and a lot of kind of quiet narration, and it's just absolutely stunning. It's a work of art, and please somebody go check it out because I kind of just want to have somebody to talk to about it. So I think that's all I had for this favorites video, and to transition into a quick little life update. I've been a little bit absent from the internet for the past couple of months. I haven't really been posting or commenting. I have been watching a few videos, but I've just haven't really been engaged. Basically, May was a huge month. I made the very big decision not to return to law school next year, and I don't really want to go into it because most of it is for personal reasons, but basically I think I realized that I wanted to redirect and refocus, and I think it was a really good decision because I'm very happy. I'm actually already working part-time. I hope to be making more content for you since I'm a little bit more in control of my schedule than I ever have been before. This is going to be the first fall that I'm not going back to some sort of school, so we're in an interesting transition period in my life, and I just want to thank you guys for being patient with me and for sticking around. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you're enjoying your summer wherever you are, and I will talk to you next time. Bye! Jep, that is a really loud plane. Give me a second.